Hi there, and good evening, and welcome to the Jim Bohannon Show from Westwood One Radio. We're at 1-866-50-JIMBO, 1-866-505-4626, and online you'll find us at jimbotalk.net. In the Journal of the American Medical Association, Harvard University child obesity expert Dr. David Ludwig recently argued that in some circumstances, parents should lose custody of their severely obese children. His opinions have stirred outrage among parents and others, but there is no denying that child obesity is turning into a bona fide epidemic. Let's talk about the issue with a couple of distinguished professionals, child welfare expert and psychologist Dr. Kalyani Gopal and Dr. Wilfred Aguila, who is an obesity specialist and author of the book Why I Don't Lose Weight, Conquering the Cycles of Obesity. That's in paperback from Weight Success Centers, LLC. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me here.
Dr. Aguila, your thoughts about what Dr. Ludwig put forward?
Well, let me just explain. I agree with her that the childhood obesity epidemic is out of control, but I'll explain a few facts. I'll tell you from my standpoint, a standpoint of treating many people who are obese every day, and the fact that I was a binge eater myself for 10 years, so I lived it myself. What I understood and what I found out was obesity was more of a cycle, and it had to do with the way we comfort ourselves with food. Anxiety and depression, which leads to overeating, which leads to guilt, which leads to more anxiety, depression, overeating, and guilt. And the reason I explain that is because if we take the child out of that environment where they are close to their parents and they're nurtured there, even though they may not be improving in that environment, you're going to cause more anxiety, depression, more overeating, and more guilt, and you're going to worsen that cycle. However, I'm not completely against it. There are situations where I think it is necessary to adopt those measures of removing the child from that environment. And I have looked at all the articles and issues that everybody talked about regarding Dr. Ludwig's comment, and no one has ever mentioned the fact that in a very large percentage of these patients, including children, sexual abuse and physical abuse are the cause of the overeating. And I see that all the time. So in situations like that, it's absolutely understandable and justifiable to do that.
In such circumstances, I would agree, although it seems quite clear that there are a lot of people out there who are overweight because they are heavily into today's young person lifestyle of being plopped in front of a phosphor screen for hours and hours and hours, whether it's television or a computer or an eye this or eye that. Recess and phys ed are lacking in many schools, and a sedentary lifestyle plus exposure, indeed acceptance, it would almost seem, of junk food. Some school districts out there faced with two choices, either A, raise the property tax, or B, bring in junk food companies to put in machines in their schools and give the school system part of the proceeds. They said, well, let's see here, raise taxes, help cut the lifespan of our kids, easy choice. Let's cut the lifespan of our kids. So it seems to me you can be a perfectly normal kid subjected to a lot of outside pressures that don't go as far as, say, sexual abuse or even necessarily guilt.
But having been there myself, I can tell you that a lot of the times the parents are the ones who are obese as well. Mm-hmm. The kids follow what the parents are doing, and this is not that easy. I had to medicate myself with food for many years because of issues, major issues, stress issues in my life that need to be resolved.
Right.
The way to deal with this, I believe, is to actually help the parents resolve their issues, and at that point they're able to help their kids as well. This is not a simple fix. But
no, it isn't a simple fix.
It is fixable.